Now we will discuss about the second set of factors which affect India's climatic conditions. Right, children? So here we have factors affecting India's climate. Part 2, factors related to air pressure and winds. Right? So here we have three factors, that is air pressure and winds, upper air circulation, then we have western cyclonic disturbances and also the tropical cyclones. So altogether we would be discussing here in details. So let's have air pressure and winds and upper air circulation or western cyclonic disturbance. How do they affect India's climatic conditions? You know, children, India lies in the north of easterly winds. Northeasterly winds India lies, and you know these winds originate from subtropical high pressure area. If you go by one of this diagram, I'm trying to clarify you. Right? Say for example, this is equator, that is 0-degree line, and this is subtropical high. It is high pressure, and here we have low pressure, and then we have again high pressure, because here we have south pole. Can we have little wider? I hope so let's see. Say for example, this is our earth. Right? Sorry, it's not equally dividing. Yes, this is equator, that is 0-degree, and this can be called as ITCZ. ITCZ, that is intratropical convergence zone, right? And here we have 30 degrees south, 60 degrees south, and then we have south pole where we have high pressure, right? Here we have SPL, that is subpolar low pressure. Here we have STH, that is subtropical high pressure. And likewise, here we have 30 degree north, then we have 60° north, then we have North Pole, and here we have high pressure, right? And here we have S polar low, here we have tropical high pressure, right? And this is ITCZ. ITCZ, right? Now, I have already told you that India lies in the northeasterly winds, and you know here ITCZ where converts the trade winds. See, if we look at here, we have northeasterly winds. Northeasterly winds, right? Here we have westerlies winds, northwesterly or westerlies you can call, and here we have north east trade winds, north east trade winds, right? Likewise, here we have south east trade winds. Then we have westerlies, that is southwesterlies, and then we have south easterlies or easterly winds, right? This is what, you know, because of the Coriolis force, the direction of winds in the northern hemisphere deflected to its right, and in the southern hemisphere it is to their left. Say for example, if the winds are moving towards say for example here in the north, if the direction of the winds is this, right, then they deflect to their right, to this direction, they get deflected, right? And if they are moving towards south, then they get deflected again to their right, this way, clear? And then if they are moving towards the eastern side, then here again they get deflected to their right. that is so winds deflected to right in northern hemisphere. In northern hemisphere, and they deflected in the left. How? You can see, children, I am making here. If the direction is this, then wind will deflect to their left. So this is their left. So here they would get deflected. Clear? I hope I am clear. So in the southern hemisphere, winds deflected to left in southern hemisphere. Clear? So here what deflected? The winds. And how, I mean, what make them to deflect to their right in the northern hemisphere and to their left in the southern hemisphere? It is Coriolis force. What we call them? Coriolis force. It is also called as Farrell's rule or Farrell's law. It is also called as Farrell's law. This is the apparent force. It is because of the rotation of the earth, right? It is because of the rotation of the earth on its axis that the winds in the northern hemisphere deflected to their right direction and in the southern hemisphere to their left. So because of this, you know, since these winds originate on the subtropical high pressure belt of the northern hemisphere, then they blow to the south, and they get deflected to their right, to this direction. You can see here I have made the, you know, direction of the winds also, and since they move over the land, so that is why they carry less moisture with them, and so they bring less rainfall or no rainfall, right? But towards the equatorial low, this is the equatorial low, 0 degree refers to equator, and equator we have the low pressure area, right? That is ITCZ, that is intratropical convergence zone. Generally the winds होती हैं वो यहाँ पर converge होती हैं, but वो यहाँ पर, since these winds blow over the land and so they carry the no rainfall, but the situation gets reversed in the because of the pressure on the lands and also on the water bodies or in the oceans. What happens? The pressure and the wind conditions, since in India, you know, it's a unique country, India is the 7th largest country, and so the pressure conditions here are very unique. So what happens in winters, we have pressure conditions different, and also in summer the pressure conditions are also very different. So because of this, we have movement of winds different in winters and different in or reversal to the summer. So it gets reversed as the season changes because of the pressure and the temperature conditions. Now look at this. What happens in winters in India? If you have, I hope you have noticed this diagram. You know, say for example, if it is India, say for example this is India, right? You know what happens, the pressure conditions in the winters are in the north of India, right? In the north of Himalayas, we can say on the central part of Asia, we have high pressure here. We have high pressure here in the winters, while we have low pressure in the water bodies or in the oceans. So what happens? The winds blow from high pressure to the low pressure in the winters, right? While the situation gets reversed in the summer. You know what happens in summer? Here the cold dry winds in the winters blow from north to south, and then that is why we have cold winters in the north. And since South India is very close to the water bodies, and so it has moderating influence, and so we have, you know, less effects of the weather conditions in the South India, while above to the Tropic of Cancer, and while we move towards upper altitudes, we find that the winters are quite colder in winters in India, right? However, in summers, the low pressure area gets shifted from oceans to the north west part of the country. Here we have low pressure area in this part of the country, right? Then what happens? You know here what happens? It causes the reversal of winds. मतलब जैसे ही लो प्रेशर एरिया यहाँ पर शिफ्ट होता है, जो विंड्स की जो डायरेक्शन है, इट गेट्स ऑल्सो रिवर्स्ड, वो बिल्कुल यू टर्न ले लेती है, राइट? एंड दिस वजह इज, आई मीन बिकॉज ऑफ दिस व्हाट हैपन्स, एयर मूव्स फ्रॉम हाई प्रेशर एरिया टू low pressure. Now I have already told you that in winters we have high pressure in the north of the Himalayas and low pressure in the oceans, but in summers the situation gets reversed. Here we have high pressure, here we have high pressure, and because of this high pressure the winds start blowing towards the main Indian land, which gets their origin from the equatorial regions, right? So around 40 to 60 degree latitudes crossing the equator, they move towards the main Indian land, right? Towards the eastern side of India, they takes a U-turn. I mean, they come from here crossing the equator and they move towards the main Indian land this way. One branch crosses the India and reach to the Bay of Bengal, pick up the moisture from there, and then in that way the air traps in the funnel shaped valleys, जो कीप के आकार की होती हैं, बिल्कुल कीप आकार आप समझ सकते हो, कीप कैसी होती है? कॉनिकल शेप में, इस तरह से. यहां पर वैलीज है, फनल शेप आप इसको बोल सकते हो, फनल शेप्ड वैलीज, उसमें वो ट्रैप हो जाती है. एंड दैट इज व्हाई यू नो द गारो, खासी एंड जयंतिया हिल्स और मौसिनराम एंड मेघालयाज, वेयर वी हैव द वेटेस्ट प्लेस इन मेघालय, they gets maximum rainfall from these winds, right? And in that way here the convergence zone develops, जिसको हम गंगा की द्रोणी भी बोलते हैं, I mean Gangetic trough we call, sometimes we call it the monsoon trough also, right? So here we have maximum rainfall in the summer season from southwest monsoon winds, right children? So this is what the pressure related conditions in India, which creates different conditions in the country, that is in both the seasons, in winters and summers. So here these winds, which we call them southwest monsoon winds, they pick up moisture from the warmer oceans because we have high pressure, right? And then they move to the main Indian lands where they sheds all the moistures, because in the north we have Himalayas which acts as a climatic divide. In the first set of factors we have already discussed this, and here the Western Ghats, hills of Western Ghats, which are parallel and regular to the western coast of India, they also receive maximum rainfall, particularly in their windward side, and this we have also discussed in the previous set of factors which determine the climate of India. And this way entire India except the Tamil Nadu coast in the south receive maximum rainfall in summer season from southwest monsoon winds, right? Now, upper air circulation. If we talk of the upper air circulation, I have already told you this upper air circulation can be termed as the jet streams, right children? Now question is, what are jet streams? Jet streams hoti kya hai? This is a narrow belt of winds in the higher altitudes. Higher altitudes में मतलब ऊंचे में that is about say in the mid latitudes. In the mid latitudes they are active, and it's a narrow belt of winds which is active in the mid latitudes, and generally the speed of these winds vary from season to season. Say for example, I'm talking about jet streams. What is it? A narrow belt of high altitudinal winds. Narrow belt of wind in mid latitude. In mid latitude, right? And their speed varies from 110 km per hour to 184 km per hour in winters. In winters, the speed of the jet streams is about 184 km per hour, while in summers the speed is about 110 km per hour, right? So these are active in the mid latitude or above the mean sea level, about 12,000 meter or 12 kilometer. 12,000 meter in the upper atmosphere. In the upper atmosphere, it's a narrow belt of altitudinal winds which is active in the mid latitudes or at the 12,000 meter from the mean sea level, right? So these winds also responsible for subtropical westerly jet streams in India generally, and they blow from south to the Himalayas, and except in summer, they are not active in the summers. However, round the year they are active, and easterly flow bring tropical cyclones. Easterly blow brings the cyclones on the Odisha coast and Andhra Pradesh coast of India, while the westerly jet streams brings the western disturbances. Now what are western disturbances, children? These western disturbances gets their origin in the Mediterranean Sea. They move towards the main Indian land in the winters, and then they brings much needed rainfall and in entire North India, and this rainfall which we receive in the winters from western disturbances sometimes is considered very good for rabi crops in the North India, right? So this is what the factors affecting climate of India. That is about upper air circulation, winds, and also the jet streams. Clear, children? I hope I'm clear. And you know, what about the tropical cyclones? Generally, they comes in the month of October and November, and they creates havoc on the eastern coast of India, particularly in the West Bengal, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Not in West Bengal, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh coast. That is east coast of India, right? So this is what about the factors affecting climate of India. Now we would be discussing about the seasons and also the mechanism of monsoons, right?